Hello, my name is Kathy Oliver, and I'm the chair and co-director of the International Brain Tumor Alliance, otherwise known as the IBTA. The IBTA was established in 2005 as a global network and dynamic worldwide community for brain tumor patient organizations and others involved in the field of neuro-oncology. We work across the globe in over 100 countries to bring together experience and expertise from all over the world with the aim of enhancing the well-being and quality of life of brain tumor patients and their families. Brain tumors are a very challenging disease, both for their treatment and for maintaining a good quality of life. This is why brain tumor patients and their families and caregivers are our top priority. We celebrate their courage and achievements, share knowledge and experiences, and work together with brain tumor patient organizations and healthcare professionals around the world to improve outcomes. A brain tumor is considered a rare disease. A brain tumor affects people of any age, including small children, and a brain tumor knows no geographic boundaries. Many people are unaware of the significant challenges a brain tumor diagnosis brings with it, and this is why it's absolutely crucial to raise awareness about the disease and to campaign for better access to therapies, support, information, and quality of life. And of course, it's also vital that we don't forget about the importance of spreading hope within our international brain tumor community. International Brain Tumor Awareness Week, this year running from the 24th to the 31st of October, is one way of increasing the public's knowledge of the challenges we face in this disease. This week is a time when our whole global brain tumor community, patients, families, and healthcare providers, as well as other stakeholders on the brain tumor journey, come together in solidarity to create awareness, positive change, and more opportunities for a better life and a better survival for brain tumor patients. Now, we raise awareness in a wide variety of ways through public events and activities. This year, we know how very difficult it is to organize activities because of the COVID-19 pandemic. But there are still things we can all do over the next few days and also beyond this week to raise awareness of brain tumors. For example, you could do a virtual walk to raise funds for research. You could contact your local newspaper, radio, or TV station and tell them your story. You could post messages on social media, have a Zoom tea party or quiz with friends and family to raise funds for research into the causes of and new treatments for brain tumors. Anything, no matter how large or small, which you can do to raise awareness of the particular challenges of a brain tumor diagnosis and the need for a special response and an increased research effort, would be greatly appreciated by the international brain tumor community. We very much appreciate your interest in the International Brain Tumor Awareness Week and for doing anything you can to help create better public understanding of the challenges of brain tumors. In doing so, you will be giving hope to patients and their families, helping to bring them one step closer to a cure for this very tough disease. Thank you.
There are various treatment options for brain tumors. It depends on the size of the tumor, the type of the tumor, and where it is located. In general, surgery followed by radiotherapy, which could be standard radiotherapy or focused radiation called stereotactic radiation like gamma knife, X knife, cyber knife, and chemotherapy. These are the three basic modalities for brain tumors. And just to mention, some of the tumors can even be observed without getting operated for some period of time. Surgery is the mainstay in most cases because surgery gives us a diagnosis, relieves the pressure effects that the tumor is producing on the nerves that are present close to the tumor, relieves symptoms like headache, and sometimes even symptoms like fits, seizures. In some cases, if the tumor is malignant, that is cancerous, following surgery, even if the total tumor looks removed, to prevent the tumor from coming back, that is called recurrence, one has to undergo radiation therapy with or without chemotherapy, as the case may be. The chemotherapy, thankfully, in most tumors of the brain are oral tablets, unlike systemic cancer, wherein very tedious injections have to be given to the patient. Coming to radiation, some of the tumors which are not cancerous can also be treated by a very focused type of radiation called stereotactic radiosurgery, because it works like surgery in a single setting and the results are accurate like surgery. Even though there is no incision or cutting involved, it is called stereotactic radiosurgery. Now, this is suitable for small tumors which are benign, which is not cancerous, which are present in deep-seated locations, which cannot be excised without considerable risk of life or nerve problems to the patient. These can be treated easily with radiosurgery. Now, this is also a good modality of treatment for tumors which cannot be removed completely. So nowadays in skull-based tumors, we leave behind some tumor residue for the sake of safety of the patient, and to prevent the remaining from growing back, we treat it with stereotactic radiosurgery. Now, chemotherapy is like standard chemotherapy for any other chemotherapy elsewhere in the body, except that, as I had mentioned previously, most of the tumor majority, that is gliomas, which are seen in the brain, can be treated with oral tablets which are easy to tolerate and not as tedious as chemotherapy in other conditions elsewhere in the body. Lastly is the wait and watch. So there are certain tumors which tend to happen in families, which tend to happen as a genetic variation, which tend to be very benign and have a very protracted course. So these tumors sometimes, when diagnosed early, when they are small, need not necessarily be treated with surgery or radiation or chemotherapy, can be even waited and watched over till they start showing any development. So all possibilities exist. So brain tumor does not mean it's end of the road for the patient. They can be treated nowadays. Not only treated, they can be even cured. All of them may not be bad. Some of them may be treated very well with surgery, and some of them can be treated very well and cured, or at least controlled, with surgery followed by radiation or chemotherapy. And some of them can be directly treated with radiation as and when it is suitable. The status of treatment of brain tumor in the country, the facilities that we have in the country, are none below par compared to rest of the world. We have equally good, if not better, and some centers are even better than centers even abroad. For all the facilities that we need for removing a tumor safely and for treating a tumor safely, we have excellent centers. So most of the institutions which are teaching institutions in the government sector are very well equipped with the latest technology. That includes surgery with monitoring of neurological function while you are operating to preserve the function of the nerves, image guidance, which is called navigation, using intraop imaging with ultrasound or CT scan or X-rays or C-arm, O-arm, or even an intraoperative MRI facility, and post-operative very good intensive care facility. A good tumor board, which involves a good neuro-oncologist, neurosurgeon, neuropathologist, a neuroradiologist, radiation oncologist, and a medical oncologist with interest in neurotumors. So all these facilities are usually available in most of the teaching institutions, even in private sector, where there are multidisciplinary teams. So multi-speciality hospitals. Most of the hospitals in major cities now have facilities and teams which cater to these patients who require a multidisciplinary patient-centric approach. It may not be easily available in B and C class towns or centers, where the basic treatments sometimes are usually done, like a surgery or a biopsy, and then a patient may be referred to higher centers with more expertise available, say a neuropathologist or a neuroradiation oncologist or a neuromedical oncologist, to treat further complicated cases or in a case of recurrent scenario. So as a patient, one has to reach out to a hospital which have a multi-speciality team and not just aim to meet one specialist, either a neurosurgeon or a radiation oncologist or a medical oncologist, but try to reach out to a group of specialists who are interested in patient-centric management and are able to give options after discussing with that team and present to the patient the current status that would be suitable for the patient's recovery and control of the tumor.
I think the biggest challenge in our situation is first of all to make the patient understand that he has a brain tumor and this is something which can be safely treated today. In children especially, the parents have to understand what are the long-term implications, and same is true for even adults, but more so in children. I think once you have seen the patient and seen his images, CT or MRI scan, a doctor gets a good idea, is it likely to be benign or malignant. However, it is subject to histopathological confirmation after surgery, and many a times you can predict that this tumor can be removed safely or it can be partially removed and subjected to other treatments. So these are the things which a patient wants to know before he subjects himself to any further investigation or surgery, and the neurosurgeon has generally a good idea about these aspects which he can explain to the patient properly.
Brain tumors are of different types. Roughly, we can classify them into 4 grades: grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, and grade 4, irrespective of the location of the tumor. Like tumors like meningiomas or CPN or acoustic neuromas are taken as grade 1, or pilocytic astrocytoma are taken as grade 1, whereas glioblastoma multiforme is taken as grade 4. Unfortunately, people who come to the hospital with the diagnosis of tumor, they assume everybody has grade 4 tumor. They always refer to patients who have been treated and then had a bad outcome, but it is not true. So a patient who has been diagnosed as a brain tumor need not be very apprehensive that they will fall under the grade 4 category, because anybody who has a grade 1 and 2 tumor, they have a almost a normal life. So the discussion of treatment to take do surgery or not, or have adjuvant radiation chemotherapy, depends on the after the biopsy report after surgery. So people should not be very apprehensive if they get diagnosed with a brain tumor, because many of them are low grade, that is called grade 1 and 2, and they have a very good outcome. they should get treatment. It is only the high grade tumors which they need radiation or chemotherapy. But with the recent advancement in the type of radiotherapy and the advancement in chemotherapy, even grade 4 tumors, 20 to 25% of them people, they survive for more than 2 or 3 years.
Response of a previous patient is therefore unreliable because he may have suffered from a malignant tumor or from a tumor which is in a difficult area, and therefore I do not think previous experiences in this matter should be a guide for the patient to decide about his or his relative's surgery. Fortunately, most hospitals today in India have good facilities in the government sector, the various All India Institutes of Medical Sciences, as well as the super specialty hospitals of the state, and many corporate hospitals and trust hospitals in India have very good facilities for neurosurgery. The neurosurgeon is usually trained for after MBBS for 2 to 3 years in general surgery and thereafter 3 to 5 years in neurosurgery, and depending on his training institutes there may be some degree of variation in the expertise, but most people are reasonably ready to treat a common variety of brain tumor. For certain special varieties of brain tumor like at the base of the skull or endoscopic surgery, they require further special training, which many of them who are interested in these particular areas will take. So an average neurosurgeon would start operating independently on a brain tumor only after 5 years of a good neurosurgical training, and therefore it is fairly safe to trust these doctors, especially if they are working in a reasonably well-established hospital. I think today facilities in India are as good as anywhere in the world, and there are very few tumors where you require something like intraoperative MRI, which may not be available everywhere, but availability of other instruments is quite common today in most places. Primary and secondary centers, tertiary and secondary centers in India, and most doctors would tell you if it can be performed in his hospital, or they would rather refer you to another bigger or more established hospital.
Whenever one is diagnosed to have a brain tumor, one should not delay in making a decision to get treatment. Brain tumors, as I was explaining you, they can be grade 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 and 2 are low grade, and they can be curable also in some of the types. Grade 3 and 4 are high grade. There is a distinct difference between a low grade tumor and a high grade tumor. High grade tumor has a tendency to increase in size rapidly. So if anybody waits and does not get operated, then they can become bigger very fast, and then it is difficult to remove totally. And as we know, the effectiveness of treatment or the survival depends on if we can remove the tumor totally or not. And the tumor can be removed totally if it's smaller in size and it has not spread to the important parts of the brain. Hence, in a high grade tumor, one should not delay the treatment. Similarly, in a low grade tumor, like grade 1 and 2 tumors, though they grow slowly, but many of the tumors like gliomas, they present with epilepsy or fits. And if we delay the treatment, then the epilepsy becomes uncontrolled, otherwise called drug resistant epilepsy. So even if you give medicines, they continue to have epilepsy. So if you delay the treatment, they become drug resistant epilepsy. So even after the tumor is removed, they continue to have fits or epilepsy. So the surgery becomes a failure. So so there is no way one has to think that surgery should be delayed in either a low grade or a high grade. Low grade presenting with epilepsy should be treated early unless it's in a very important structure which will cause deficits or weakness after surgery. But in a high grade tumor, as they increase in size very rapidly, one should not again delay treatment and do the treatment as early as possible to have the best result or the best survival for the particular patient.
Brain tumor is a rare and critical illness. Lack of awareness about this condition, fear about the prognosis and outcomes, various misconceptions in the society, and difficulty in connecting with other patients of this condition results in inability of these patients and their caregivers to discuss about this condition openly. This leads to significant fear, anxiety, stress, and insecurity. As a result, with the absence of a professional and a structured program, many patients and their relatives are left to fend for themselves and manage these emotional states themselves. While some of them are able to cope effectively, majority do require some help to tide over this emotional states. Psychological support provides provides help for these emotional and mental health conditions in a more structured and a professional and a compassionate manner. This includes mental health counseling, moral support, helping understand the effects of brain tumor, and how to manage, gain insight and strength from others who have recovered successfully. The purpose of a support group is to help patients gain from each other's experiences and the manner in which they could conquer or tide over or manage these various challenges which come on a day-to-day basis and which are very difficult to discuss with your own medical specialist. Patient support groups build a feeling of we, wherein the patients meet each other and realize that they are not alone in this journey. It brings significant relief to them and also instills a sense of confidence that this is not such a difficult disease to be treated, as they have many examples in front of them who have recovered from this condition successfully. Addressing these psychosocial issues initially, right from the time of diagnosis, significantly improves the quality of life and also improves the ability of the affected to face the various challenges of the treatment and the recovery more effectively. The psychological support can be provided by counselors, psychologists, neuropsychologists, or clinical psychologists, social workers, brain tumor survivors, and their caregivers. The format could be, to begin with, in a small setup, starting from the department itself, and most often from the neurosurgical department, because this is where the patients come after the diagnosis for the first time. We strongly believe in a real-time counseling right from the time of diagnosis in the outpatient, and subsequently when the patient visits or gets admitted for surgery and for subsequently for rehabilitation and radiotherapy if they require so. In our own experience over the last 1 year, we have realized that these support groups and psychosocial counseling has significantly helped the patients and their caregivers to face the treatment much more effectively and much more peacefully. In addition, the patients who have been associated since the last 1 year now are very proactive. They look forward to our monthly meetings, which initially were held physically but now are being conducted virtually online, and they very proactively counsel the newly diagnosed patients. In fact, some of them adopt the families based on their socioeconomic and cultural background and tend to be a guiding force on a day-to-day basis. So based on our experience, we strongly believe that having a very comprehensive and integrated psychosocial and patient support group in a neuro-oncology practice provides a very comprehensive care and should be a part of any dedicated neuro-oncology or a neurosurgical practice.